Hello, welcome back to the Book Vandal Shop. Today I'm going to show you how to make this frame, a faux metal frame. So it's actually made of chipboard, but by the time we're done it will look like metal. I do apologize for the doggy toenails clicking in the background. I'm sure you can hear those, but they have to be in the same room with me all the time, even the bathroom. Do you have pets like that too? So let's see. Before we get started, we need razor knife, ruler, pencil. You're going to need something to draw your arch with. And then eventually you're going to need some Mod Podge, tissue paper, and some paint. So first thing we're going to do is you need to decide on your size. So on this particular frame, I'm going to use it, excuse me. I'm going to use it on the cover of a journal, so I have made sure that it is slightly smaller than my cover. So you need to decide what size you want your frame to be, and then you need to decide, how wide do you want the outside edges to be. Do you want it wide or thin, or wider than what I've done here? Okay. And then to draw the arch at the top, I've used a cup. Okay, and I did that because it actually fit perfectly for what I was needing. So you may want to go and find your circle first, and then that might dictate, how wide you can go across. So I hope that makes sense. All right, well, rather than sitting and measuring out, I am just going to trace this one, because it will be close enough. Oops, I am so sorry. Bumping the camera. One of these days I may have a different setup, but for now it is kind of low on my priority list. Alright, so I have the outside. Okay, and then let me put this back in a frame. There we are. Alright, and I want it to be a little wider on the bottom. So, and actually this width here and this width here I've done is the same. And okay, I like these clear rulers just for this purpose. So it doesn't matter about our pencil lines because they're going to get covered anyway. Oh, that's seems a little narrow, doesn't it? Let's go up one more line on my ruler. I don't know, that seems kind of too wide. Kind of wanted them to match. Okay, well, we'll just do the measuring thing. I'm not sure where I came up with that width. About 1 1/8 inches. Yep, kind of right between the two of them, huh? All right. 1 1/8 inches. Oh, and so before I was saying on my other videos that I could only upload 15 minutes at a time because I had not paid for the premium membership. And someone left me a comment and said, no, that wasn't the reason. It was because I had not verified my email with YouTube. And I went and did that, and lo and behold, they were right. So I kind of feel like a fool. All this time I could have been uploading longer videos instead of just 15 minutes at a time, and I didn't realize that that's all I needed to do. Oh well, lesson learned. I'm just glad somebody thought enough to tell me that. Okay, and it looks like I did about 3/4 of an inch on the sides. So we'll do that. Yeah, it really could have saved me a lot of trouble had I known that before. Oh well. Okay. Okay, so now I've drawn the basic rectangle for the inside. Okay, and then now we need to put the arch in. So just going to lay that in. And here, let me flip it around here. Okay, so this is the top up here. Okay. And I want the top of the cup to be just inside my inside line on my frame. And I'm just going to draw the arch. Okay. So now I have the arch. I have the bottom frame here, the side, up around the top. Okay. So now we need to cut this out. So I'm just going to use my craft knife for that. And it doesn't have to be, you know, perfect. If your razor knife gets away from you just a little bit, that's okay. Because as you can see, it's going to be kind of lumpy looking when we're done anyway. All right. See, my razor knife got away from me a little bit there. And really a metal ruler works better for doing this than a plastic one, because mine's actually kind of rough on the edges from where I've grabbed into it too many times with a razor knife. So really a metal one works better, and I'll get one eventually. Just when I go into the store, it's not what I'm thinking about getting. I'm thinking about getting fun stuff. Okay. And then I have found that cutting this arch is a little bit easier if I do it around the cup. Okay, and I'm just going to keep scoring it until I get through my chipboard. Okay, and I may do this off camera just because I'm at an odd angle working around the tripod. So I think I probably will finish this up off camera. Okay, I'm back. I have the center all cut out. So now we are ready to start giving it this texture that's on here. So what you're going to need is some tissue paper that's been cut into some strips. Okay, just like grade school paper mache, you know. But tissue paper works really well for that. And then I'm just using some Mod Podge. And I'm using the gloss because I don't seem to use that for much of anything, so I'm going to use that up. Let's see. Oh, freezer paper. This works great for covering your surfaces because it's kind of a non-stick surface. So I'm going to cover my workspace with that and put the shiny side up. One thing with using this freezer paper, I have found, I am so sorry, bumping that camera again. I have found that freezer paper works really well for, so this is some cloths that I've made. It's really grungy looking, and I've painted it. What I'm going to do is sew my signatures to this, so the rough edges won't show or anything like that. But when you paint, you can just paint all over this and then just leave it stuck there. And then it just peels right up off the freezer paper. It actually makes it kind of slick on the back. So freezer paper is great for painting cloth on. So just another little tip there. Okay, so what we're going to do is wrap tissue paper around this frame. And we're going to do it kind of messily. We're going to be messy about it. We don't want it to be all perfect. So I just give it a little bit of a coat there at first. Now, I have found that it works best to coat your tissue paper with the Mod Podge rather than the surface that you're working on. So we're just willy-nilly wrapping this around here. Okay, we don't care how neat it is. And I do both sides just because it's easier just to wrap rather than only covering one surface and then having to to trim sides. If you cover both surfaces, then you can decide which side you like better when you're done. So, noisy dogs, sorry. Okay, and I won't cover this whole entire thing on camera. That would be extremely boring, so we'll just do a little bit more here. And what I'll probably do is give it its first coat off camera, and then I'll come back, show you how to finish it up. So, funny thing about Mod Podge, I used to like the smell of Mod Podge. I kind of thought it smelled good, you know, kind of flowery and all that. And one time I was using Mod Podge, and my husband walks in and he said, "Why does it smell like a funeral home in here?" I said, "What?" "Yeah, it smells like a funeral home in here." And then I realized, oh my gosh, it does smell like a funeral home in here. And I think it's because it has such a florally smell I get. I think the gloss Mod Podge smells more like that than the matte finish does. But yeah, I don't like the smell of Mod Podge anymore, because it seriously does smell like a funeral home. So yeah, that's my funny story there. Okay. All right, I'm going to finish giving this first coat off camera, and then I'll come back. So you do yours all the way around with one coat. Okay, don't give it a second coat yet. Just do the one whole coat, and then we'll come back. Okay, so I've got the first coat on now, and you see how I've done this. It's very messy. Okay, not everything's all smoothed down. Okay, and that doesn't matter, because we're going to give it a coat of Mod Podge over the top. So I've even got pieces hanging on here that, you know, I had to cover some empty spots with. Okay, so this is going to need another coat of paper to help build up that texture and that layer. So all your little pieces that are hanging, you can just smooth those down with Mod Podge. Okay, I'm just going to give it a quick little coat. Like I said, this is messy, messy, messy. Don't try to be perfect. Okay. Oop. Again. Sorry. Okay. All right. So we're just wrapping another layer on this. Okay, we don't care what it looks like, and after you've wrapped it on, just kind of give it a little bit of a brushing down there. Okay. My hands are a mess. So you've probably noticed I'm wearing a Band-Aid on my finger today. I was in Walmart yesterday, and I hurt my finger on one of their shelves. When I got out to the car, I dug around in the glove box of my car and found a Band-Aid to put on my finger, and it just so happened to be a little kid Band-Aid. Now, the reason that's odd is because I don't have any little kids anymore. My daughter's almost 20, my son's almost 15, so why and how we have little kid Band-Aids in our car, I have no clue. So and I was going to change my Band-Aid, and then I decided, you know, I'm just getting to get Mod Podge all over it. I might as well just wait until I'm done. Okay. So see what I'm doing there? I'm just giving it another coat, and I'm keeping it nice and messy, okay? So I'm going to do the second coat off camera, and you just give yours another coat, okay? And then we will be right back. Okay, so I've given it a second coat, and as you can see, it's, you know, I didn't mush everything down quite as much when I put it on. So it's got some dry areas, okay? Now, I left this area a little bit blank on purpose to show you that if you have a spot where you feel like it needs some more texture or some more dimension, that's super easy to fix. Just put a little bit of Mod Podge down, take a piece of your tissue paper, put the Mod Podge on your tissue paper, okay? Just kind of bulk it up and then just stick it down in place, okay? Just like that. So now we've got some more texture up there in the corner. Ooh, I almost dumped the container over. Oh, that would have been disastrous. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just give this a coat of just the Mod Podge. Okay, we're just kind of making sure all the air bubbles are out underneath the tissue paper. We're just kind of pressing it down, pressing the Mod Podge into it and getting it good and wet and mushing it down, making sure there's no edges that are still popped up. Okay, just give it a good heavy coat there. If you see anything that looks a little thin and you want some more texture, like that corner there, now is a great time to do that. Just press some of that in place. I'm looking a little thin right here. Clickety, clickety, clickety. My house sounds like this all day long. With 2 dogs and hardwood floors. It's just clickety, clickety, clickety all day. Okay. That looks good. If you're a little lumpy on places that you don't want to be, kind of tap it down, smooth it out. All right? But it's not supposed to look perfect anyway. Okay, so you're going to need to let that dry. If you're impatient like I am, I'm going to use my little heat tool and give it the blast of air and dry it so that I can hurry up and get to painting it. So, and that works well too. Just don't leave it in one spot too long or you'll really make things bubble. Okay, all right, I'm going to dry this and I'll be right back. Okay, next step. We are going to paint our frame. It's now dry. Hopefully you didn't burn yours a little bit like I did. I got the heat tool a little close for too long. So I just used some cheap paint. I'm using nutmeg and black. You use whatever colors you want. I'm not mixing these. I'm going to put them side by side on my freezer paper here, right next to each other. Okay, using just good old black and brown. And the reason I'm not mixing them is I kind of want the 2 tones throughout. I don't want it to be a solid color, and the way to do that is to grab both colors with your paintbrush at the same time. So I have black and brown both on my paintbrush. Okay, and when I put it on, it's going to look like that, obviously. But that's okay. And you just keep painting and see how you get that look. Okay, I promise it won't come out looking striped. And just paint this up, grabbing both black and brown when you paint. I am a messy crafter, so okay. Now I'm getting a little too much black on that side that I want, so I'm going to grab a little more brown. Just paint that in there. I want them to blend, but not completely. I want both the brown and the black tones to show. You can hear my dog sighing with displeasure. Okay. And I don't need to really cover the back side, but I do want to make sure that I get the edges. I'll get the edges really well. I'm just kind of doing this real messy still. Okay. Now, that's one coat. I want to give this another coat. So I'm going to use my heat tool because heat tools dry this acrylic paint extremely fast. But I don't want to get that heat on my paintbrush or my paint over here because I don't want it to dry out my paintbrush or my paint. So a good way to do that and not have to move anything is take a piece of chipboard and hold that up while you're using your heat tool to block all the heat off of your paintbrush and paint. So I'm going to dry this with a heat tool. Be right back. Alright, we've got our first coat on, and as you can see, this is why we're going to put a second coat on, is because you get spots, white spots down in the texture that you miss, and you don't really see it when the paint's wet. So we're going to give this another coat. Same technique, just picking up both collars and willy-nilly just putting it on there. My hands, oh my goodness. I look like this when I paint houses too. Okay. I am a messy painter. I'm a messy crafter. I'm a messy painter. I'm a messy cook. Funny part is I'm extremely messy, but I like everything to be organized and clean. So my crafting room is always extremely organized and everything's always put away in its place. But I sure do know how to make a mess. Okay. Putting some of that in. Okay, so I've still got my, I don't know if you can see that in the light. Probably not. Maybe that way. I've got some brown and black tones both in there, so it's not solid one color. Okay, so I've given it a second coat. I'm going to dry this, and then I will show you how to distress this. Okay, be right back. All right, we are ready to distress now. Everything is dry. Okay, I went ahead and painted a little bit on the back side so that I can show you how to distress using both of these products right here. So what I used on this one, and you can see the difference there between just paint and the distressing. This really makes it look like metal. What I used is Prima Marketing Alchemy wax. Okay, this is the Bronze Age color. You can get it in lots of different colors. It comes in a little tiny tin. So I don't even remember what it costs, but you can order it online, and some stores carry it in the store. I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but I think it smells good. And then here is some metallic craft paint, just cheapo Hobby Lobby, Anita's brand metallic craft paint in the bronze color. Either one will work just fine. I prefer the wax, so that is what I'm going to show you first. And if you've never used this before, a little goes a long way. Okay, so just a little bit on your finger, and you're just going to lightly rub. I'm not pushing and grinding it in there. I'm just letting my finger glide across the surface. Okay, so see if that light will pick that up. There we go. Okay, I'm just lightly gliding across the surface, just rubbing, not grinding it in there. And what it's doing is it's just picking up the raised parts of the tissue paper, and it's not getting it down into the grooves. And it really makes it look like some old metal. My dog is so noisy. I am so sorry. I hope that's not completely annoying. She is down there just going to town on a toy. I have a beagle. He is, let me think about this. He will be 6 this fall. And then I have a golden retriever who is, let me think, I think she's 8 months old now. So she's not even a year old. But she's already probably, see, I got a little heavy on the wax there. She's probably already 60 pounds. Sweet as can be. She's a lover. I always wanted a golden retriever, and I finally got one in August. So I've had her since she was 8 weeks old. Her name is Carmen. And then we also have the beagle. He's a funny little guy, smart as a whip, and so vocal, like so many beagles are. Okay, see, that looks nice, doesn't it? I kind of like that one better than the first one I did. Okay, so let me show you how to do this with just paint, in case you don't want to buy any of that or you don't have some. Okay, my camera cut me off there, so I'll show you how to do this with paint. And I've only got a couple of minutes left on this camera, so I'm gonna have to hurry up. So I like to use my finger, okay? Just do a little dab, okay? And so I've just got a tiny bit on my finger, and then I'm just going to do what I did with the wax, which is lightly rub, so that I'm only hitting the raised areas. Okay, so yes, you can distress it with paint. This is, like I said, the metallic, cheap metallic acrylic paint, and it does essentially the same thing. It's just the wax is a lot easier to control and not get so much on. Okay, so either product will do. And I think that will wrap us up. I will be doing the giveaway here on YouTube very soon because I hit 200 subscribers. Yay! So I will be doing that pretty soon. I just need to get these bee journals finished up first before I do that. So keep an eye out for that. That'll be coming up. All right, well, thank you everyone for all your support, and I hope you have a good time making one of these. If you do, shoot me a message with a picture. Let me know how you do with it. All right, talk to you all later. Bye-bye.